Picture this. A company discovers something revolutionary. The biggest find of the century. Investors rush in, stock explodes. Billions pour in from pension funds, banks, families betting everything. And then someone looks closer. Spain had Ponzi in the 1820s, a country that didn't exist. America had Enron in 2001, profits that were fiction. Canada had Bre-X in 1997, the largest gold deposit in human history. Wedding rings, crushed into dirt, $6 billion. Gone. But here's what nobody talks about. The chief geologist fell from a helicopter at 800 feet the day before the fraud was exposed. Body found 4 days later in the jungle. Hands missing, feet missing, and when they tested the gold, filed off jewelry, purchased from local markets, sprinkled into drill samples for 2 years. Right now, in 2025, this exact pattern is repeating. Nikola Motors filmed trucks rolling downhill and called it innovation. Crypto platforms promise returns that don't exist. And just like Bre-X, millions won't see it until their money vanishes. Let's go back to 1993. Indonesia, Busing River. Middle of nowhere jungle. David Walsh was a Canadian stockbroker who'd lost everything in the 1987 crash. Broke, desperate, living in a basement. He founded Bre-X Minerals with $10,000 in a dream. Find gold in Indonesia before bigger companies grabbed the mining rights. He hired John Felderhoff, a geologist who knew Indonesia. Felderhoff brought in Michael de Guzman, a Filipino geologist with 15 years of experience. De Guzman ran exploration, the man who touched the rocks, the man who controlled the data. Late 1993, they started drilling at Busing. Early results showed gold. Not huge amounts, but enough to keep drilling, enough to attract small investors. Stock went from 30 cents to $2. That 1994 hit. Numbers got better. Way better. De Guzman reported gold deposits climbing. From 2 million ounces to 10 million to 30 million by 1996. Early 1997, 70 million ounces. Think about that, the largest gold find in human history. Bigger than anything in South Africa. Bigger than Australia. Bre-X stock exploded. From $2 to $280 per share by May 1996. But here's what was really happening in that jungle. Every night in the company office in Samarinda, bags of drill core samples sat open in a billiards room. Open bags. In mining, you never open sample bags before they reach the lab. Rule number 1. Contamination risk. But de Guzman's assistant defended it, said it prevented bag breakage. What they were actually doing, adding gold. First, de Guzman filed gold off his wedding ring. When it ran out, he bought gold dust from local Dayak people who panned rivers. $61,000 worth over 2.5 years. He measured the amounts carefully. Made the ratios look natural. Nobody suspected. Forensic analysis later showed the gold particles had river characteristics, worn smooth, mixed with electrum. Not hard rock mining, but the consultants hired by Bre-X either didn't notice or didn't care. By 1997, Bre-X hit a $6 billion market cap. Major pension funds owned shares. Retail investors bet their retirements. President Suharto himself was negotiating mining rights, and Michael de Guzman, 5 women. Each thought she was his wife. Multiple passports. Bank accounts in different countries. He wasn't just a geologist. He was running a con, and it was about to collapse. March 19, 1997. Michael de Guzman was in Toronto when the call came. Freeport-McMoRan, a major U.S. mining company, was conducting independent tests at Busing. They found nothing. Insignificant gold. De Guzman was ordered back to Indonesia immediately. Explain the discrepancy. Meet the Freeport team at the site. He flew Toronto to Singapore. Spent time with one of his wives, Jeannie, and their children. Then continued to Balikpapan, Indonesia. His last night he went to a karaoke bar with Rudy Vega, a Bre-X employee. Back at the hotel, de Guzman tried to kill himself in the bathtub. Drank an entire bottle of cough medicine. Passed out. Vega pulled him out. Next morning, March 19, they took a helicopter to Samarinda. De Guzman boarded a second helicopter alone, heading to Busing. He never arrived. Official report. Michael de Guzman jumped from a helicopter at 800 feet. Suicide. The pilot said he opened the door mid-flight and fell. 4 days later, a body was found in the jungle. 400 meters from a logging road. Severely decomposed. Hands and feet surgically removed. Mostly eaten by animals. One person identified it. Another Filipino geologist who said it was de Guzman. Dental records confirmed it, but no DNA test was conducted before the body was cremated. Filipino forensic experts raised red flags immediately. The body had natural teeth. De Guzman wore dentures. Photos showed possible strangulation marks on the neck. And then the questions started piling up. A body had gone missing from the morgue in the town where the helicopter departed. Nobody saw de Guzman's body except that one geologist. And one of de Guzman's wives in the Philippines reported receiving money transfers after his supposed death. Money she believed came from him. Was he murdered? Did he fake his death and escape? Nobody knows. But here's what happened next. 1 week after de Guzman's death, March 26, 1997, Freeport McMoran made their announcement. Independent core samples showed insignificant amounts of gold at Busing. Bre-X stock collapsed. Trading halted. President Suharto postponed signing the mining deal. Bre-X hired Strathcona Minerals for an independent review. May 4, 1997, Strathcona released their findings. Samples had been salted with gold dust. Gold in at least one drill hole had been shaved off jewelry. The fraud had been ongoing since 1993. Bre-X stock was delisted. The company filed for bankruptcy. $6 billion evaporated. Pension funds lost hundreds of millions. Retail investors lost everything. David Walsh, the founder, died of a heart attack in 1998. John Felderhoff was charged with fraud, but acquitted in 2007. The only person who could have explained everything, Michael de Guzman, was dead or gone. Fast forward to 2016, Phoenix, Arizona. Trevor Milton founded Nikola Corp in his basement. The pitch: zero-emission 18-wheel trucks, powered by hydrogen and electricity. The Tesla of trucking. By 2020, Nikola had gone public. Stock soared. Market cap hit $20 billion. General Motors partnered with them. Milton became a billionaire on paper. He posted videos on social media showing Nikola trucks driving smoothly. Revolutionary technology. But here's what investigators found. The revolutionary truck Nikola claimed to have built, General Motors product with Nikola's logo stamped on it. Videos were doctored to hide flaws. And that smooth driving video, the truck wasn't driving. It was rolling downhill. They touted to the top of a hill, released it, and filmed it coasting. No engine, no hydrogen power, gravity. September 2020, a short seller report exposed the fraud. Milton resigned. Stock collapsed. October 2022, Trevor Milton was convicted of securities fraud and wire fraud. December 2023, sentenced to 4 years in prison and fined $1 million. Same pattern as Bre-X: exaggerated claims, falsified evidence, investors losing billions. But here's the thing, Nikola wasn't unique. Right now, in 2025, according to FBI data, Americans lost $9.3 billion to crypto fraud in 2024 alone. Investment scams caused $5.8 billion in losses. Cloud mining platforms, promising passive crypto income without hardware, defrauded investors of over $500 million in 2024. Platforms like Tafish, Global Crypto, fake RIOT blockchain operations. They promised 10% monthly returns, guaranteed profits. Just deposit funds. Victims deposit money. Platform shows fake mining rewards. But when they try to withdraw, platform demands more deposits to increase credibility rating. Just like Bre-X demanding more drilling to confirm reserves. One California victim lost $81,000 to a fake RIOT mining platform that impersonated the real company Riot Platforms. The platform wouldn't let them withdraw until they deposited more. Sound familiar? The mechanics are identical. Fake data, fake results, real money disappearing, and just like Bre-X, millions won't realize it's a scam until the platform vanishes overnight. Let's break down the pattern. Once you see it, you'll recognize it everywhere. Stage 1. The big claim. A company announces a revolutionary discovery or technology. The biggest ever, game-changing, Bre-X, largest gold deposit in history. Nikola, hydrogen trucks replacing diesel. Crypto, mining returns beating every investment on Earth. Check the claim. Is it too good? Does it defy industry norms? USA 2025. Yes. Hundreds of crypto platforms promising 10% plus monthly returns when legitimate mining barely breaks even. Stage 2. Early proof. The company provides evidence. Bre-X, drill sample results. Nikola, videos of trucks driving. Crypto platforms, screenshots of live mining dashboards. Check the verification. Is it independently verified? Can outsiders replicate it? USA 2025. No. Most platforms show fake dashboards. No blockchain verification, no independent audits. Stage 3. Rapid growth. Stock price or deposits explode. Bre-X went from 30 cents to $280. Nikola hit $20 billion market cap. According to blockchain analysis firm Chainalysis, crypto scam platforms pulled in $10.7 billion in fraud flows in 2024 alone. Check the velocity. Is growth faster than fundamentals justify? USA 2025. Yes. Platforms gain millions of users in months with zero operational transparency. Stage 4. Institutional validation. Big players get involved. Bre-X. Major pension funds invested. President Suharto negotiated personally. Nikola. General Motors partnered. Crypto. Influencers promote. Trusted figures endorse. Check the incentives. Are validators getting paid? Do they have skin in the game? USA 2025. Yes. Crypto influencers earn referral commissions. Multi-level marketing structures. Stage 5. Cracks appear. Someone looks closer. Bre-X. Freeport McMoran's independent tests. Nikola. Short seller report. Crypto. Victims can't withdraw funds. Check the response. Does the company allow independent verification? USA 2025. No. Platforms block withdrawals, demand more deposits, shut down without warning. Stage 6. The collapse. Truth comes out. Bre-X. Samples were salted. Nikola. Trucks were fake. Crypto. Platforms disappear overnight. Billions lost. Check the aftermath. Are there criminal charges? Regulatory reform? USA 2025. Rarely. Most crypto scams operate offshore. Jurisdiction issues. Victims never recover funds. Stage 7. The next one starts. Because the pattern works, it repeats. Different industry. Same mechanics. We've completed all 7 stages in crypto, right now, in 2025, and new platforms are launching every week. History says the crash happens fast. Bre-X collapsed in 6 weeks from first doubts to bankruptcy. Let's look at the numbers. The scale of fraud happening right now eclipses Bre-X total crypto fraud. According to Chainalysis, fraud and scam flows to crypto addresses totaled $10.7 billion in 2024. That's down from $16.8 billion in 2022, but still nearly double Bre-X's entire market cap. What it means? You don't need a jungle in Indonesia. You need a website and a WhatsApp account. U.S. victims. FBI reports Americans lost $9.3 billion to crypto fraud in 2024. Nearly 150,000 complaints filed. What it means? This isn't happening in developing countries. This is happening to Americans, your neighbors, your coworkers. Cloud mining specifically, platforms disguised as cloud mining scams defrauded investors of over $500 million in 2024 alone. What it means? People are falling for the exact same pitch as Bre-X. We do the hard work. You just invest and collect profits. Ponzi schemes. Ponzi and pyramid schemes drew approximately $4.3 billion in victim funds in 2024. Historical parallel. Bre-X wasn't technically a Ponzi, but the mechanics were similar. Early investors got returns funded by new investors rushing in. When new money stopped, it collapsed. The Riot blockchain case. Late 2024, a California victim was contacted via WhatsApp offering freelance crypto mining work for Riot blockchain. No schedule, work from home. Victim completed training. Platform demanded deposits to start earning. Victim deposited, earned rewards, but platform kept demanding more deposits to increase credibility rating and allow withdrawals. Victim deposited $81,000 total, never got it back. This is the Bre-X playbook. The gold is there, we just need more drilling to confirm. Your rewards are there, you just need more deposits to withdraw. And here's the kicker. The scam impersonated a real company, Riot Platforms, a legitimate publicly traded Bitcoin mining firm. Just like Bre-X used real geological terms and real mining practices to hide the fraud. Market size. The global crypto mining market in 2025 is estimated at $14.81 billion. What it means? In 2022, fraud flows were $16.8 billion, bigger than the entire alleged market. That's insane. Here's how the dominoes fall. Pay attention. Picture a line of dominoes. Each one represents something. First domino. A few people lose money to a scam. Second, they tell others, but often too late. Third, victims are embarrassed, don't report immediately. Fourth, scam operates longer. Fifth, more victims pile in, seeing others earning rewards. Final domino, bigger collapse when it finally breaks, and here's why nobody can stop it. The jurisdiction trap. Most crypto scams operate offshore. Victim in California. Platform registered in Seychelles. Servers in Estonia. Scammers in Nigeria or Southeast Asia. Which agency has jurisdiction? FBI? Interpol? By the time anyone figures it out, the platform has shut down and reopened under a new name. The technology advantage. Bre-X needed helicopters, drill rigs, Indonesian mining licenses. That takes time. Infrastructure. Crypto scams need a domain name, a Telegram group, and AI-generated fake testimonials. You can launch in 48 hours. The influencer amplification. Bre-X relied on stock analysts and financial media. Slow process. Crypto scams pay influencers directly. Referral commissions. Multi-level marketing structures. One influencer reaches 100,000 people instantly. The psychological hook. Bre-X victims were mostly institutional investors and wealthy individuals who could afford to lose. Crypto scam victims are regular people borrowing money, draining savings, taking loans to increase credibility ratings. When Bre-X collapsed, it was a financial scandal. When crypto platforms collapse, it's personal ruin, families destroyed. And the cycle repeats because the penalties are weak. Trevor Milton got 4 years in prison for defrauding investors of billions. Most crypto scammers, they never get caught. And if they do, they're in countries with no extradition treaties. It's checkmate for victims. The system isn't designed to protect you. So what does this mean for you, your savings? If you've invested in any platform promising guaranteed returns, especially crypto mining, forex trading, or automated systems, ask yourself, can I independently verify this is real? Not screenshots, not testimonials. Can I see the blockchain? Can I visit the facility? If the answer is no, you're in boozing. You're standing in a jungle looking at gold that might be wedding rings. Your family. The California victim who lost $81,000 to fake RIOP blockchain. They borrowed money to keep depositing. They thought they were building wealth. Instead, they're in debt. If someone you love is talking about a mining opportunity or passive income platform that requires deposits to withdraw earnings, that's the red flag. That's the exact mechanism Bre-X used. More drilling equals more proof. More deposits equals more credibility. Your future. In the next 18 to 24 months, as economic pressure increases, layoffs, inflation, uncertainty, more people will look for alternative income. That's when scams explode. Bre-X succeeded because gold prices were rising in the 1990s and investors were desperate for the next big find. Right now, in 2025, people are desperate for financial escape. Crypto scams are the modern gold rush. And just like the 1990s, most prospectors will lose everything. Your job, even if you don't invest, you're affected. When Bre-X collapsed, it triggered reforms in Canadian mining regulations. Short-term pain for long-term protection. When crypto scams collapse, and they will, regulators will crack down. That means legitimate crypto businesses suffer. Innovation slows, jobs disappear. Your trust. The real damage isn't just money, it's trust. After Bre-X, investors became paranoid. Legitimate mining companies struggled to raise capital for years. After crypto scams reach critical mass, people will stop trusting any digital investment. That includes legitimate blockchain projects, fintech innovation, decentralized finance that could actually help people. The scammers poison the well for everyone. This isn't just about your money. It's about society. Level 1. Your money. Victim loses $81,000. Level 2. Your community. Multiply that by 150,000 victims in the U.S. in 2024. That's $9.3 billion sucked out of local economies. Money that should have been spent at local businesses paying mortgages, funding retirements. Gone. Level 3. Your country. When fraud reaches this scale, governments respond. Usually too late. New regulations. Restrictions on crypto. Restrictions on cross-border transactions. Legitimate businesses choke under compliance costs. Level 4. Global trust collapse. Bre-X wasn't just a Canadian problem. It shook global mining investment. Indonesia's reputation suffered. International investors pulled back from emerging markets for years. Crypto scams are doing the same thing. Countries are banning crypto outright. China did it. India is considering it. The US is tightening regulations. When the next major platform collapses, and platforms are collapsing regularly, it'll trigger a cascade. Historical parallel: the 1929 crash. Before the Great Depression, stock fraud was rampant. Pump and dump schemes, fake companies, sound familiar? When the market crashed in 1929, it wasn't just about stock prices. It was about trust. People stopped believing in banks, in markets, in institutions. That psychological collapse turned a financial crisis into a decade-long depression. We're watching the same pattern in crypto. Scam after scam, platform after platform. Each collapse chips away at trust, and when trust collapses, people hoard cash. Stop investing, stop spending, economies freeze. The Bre-X aftermath. After Bre-X collapsed in 1997, Canadian mining regulations were reformed. National Instrument 43-101 was introduced, strict standards for reporting mineral resources. It worked. Canadian mining became more trustworthy, but it took years. And legitimate companies paid the price: higher costs, slower approvals, investor skepticism. The same will happen with crypto. But the damage will be broader because crypto touches everything: payments, contracts, identity verification, supply chains. When regulators crack down after the next major collapse, the entire digital economy will feel it. So when does this happen? Look at the pattern. Bre-X. Warning signs appeared early 1997. Collapse happened in 6 weeks. Nikola Motors. Short seller report September 2020. Conviction October 2022. 2 years from exposure to sentencing. Crypto scams. Platforms collapse continuously. But that they collapse, the one that triggers regulatory response, hasn't happened yet. We're in the accumulation phase, victims piling up. $9.3 billion in 2024. $10.7 billion in fraud flows. The math points to 2025 to 2026 for a major platform failure that gets mainstream attention. Why? Trigger 1. Economic pressure. As layoffs increase and inflation persists, more people turn to alternative income. More victims, bigger collapse. Trigger 2. Regulatory scrutiny. The US SEC is already investigating multiple platforms. When charges drop, platforms will rush to exit scam before enforcement hits. Trigger 3. Victim critical mass. 150,000 complaints in 2024. If that doubles in 2025, which trends suggest it will, media coverage intensifies. Congressional hearings, public pressure. Could be Q2 2025. Could be late 2026, but we're talking months to low single-digit years. Not decades, and when it happens, it'll move fast. Just like Bre-X. Michael de Guzman fell from a helicopter at 800 feet, where he was pushed, or he escaped and is living under a new identity in the Philippines, sending money to one of his 5 wives. Nobody knows. But here's what we do know. The fraud he orchestrated destroyed $6 billion in wealth and shook an entire industry. And the methods he used, salting samples, falsifying data, exploiting trust, are being replicated right now at scale in crypto. The difference? Bre-X needed helicopters and jungle drilling. Today's scams need a website and a WhatsApp message. Which means the collapse, when it comes, will be faster, bigger, and more people will be caught in it. If you're in any platform that promises guaranteed returns, requires deposits to withdraw, or operates without independent verification, get out. Now, because by the time the body is found in the jungle, it's too late. Subscribe, because when this collapses, you'll want to know what happens next.